Testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plains of the Andes in France, stay mainly in Japan. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Forex.Today community on YouTube of foreign exchange traders all around the world. Some in skyscrapers, some in homes, some on beaches. It's all good as long as you got a laptop and a couple of monitors. Everyone's like, does that guy have a laptop with 2 screens? Is he live streaming on YouTube? Yeah. So anyways, good morning, everybody. Just got to make sure I can see that chat. Very cool. All right, so let me remind you that trading's risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you can't afford to lose. So I think I'm going to have this. All right, so hopefully the sound is all right and all that kind of stuff. Cool. So I need to flip it over my beautiful face, and I got to switch the thing, so hang on. This is going to work. There we go. Half the problem is I can't see what's going on. All right, so boom. All right, cool. So please thank Traders Way for being the sponsor of our community. You do that by visiting tradersway.com, opening up a demo account, and giving them the opportunity to earn your loyalty and respect through small spreads, fast execution speed, and amazing swaps. Tradersway.com. Also, tell YouTube this is quality content by clicking the like button, by subscribing, and by leaving comments on the email, on the recordings. Let me get the chat back up. I can't quite see it. There it is. Everyone's beautiful. Everyone's awesome. Everyone's fine. Good to see you. All right. So the Fed did what? Exactly what we said they would do, and they're not going to even think about raising interest rates. Good. Awesome. So they're not adjusting rate policy. They have done monetary policy. So that's good. All of that is good. Good. Love it. Now the stock market's been going up. Asset prices have been going up like crazy, especially in the last couple of weeks. And then what? Between the Wednesdays, we were going to have some profit taking. So starting about non-farm payrolls, you got profit taking, and then today's markets are already down 2%. And they're like, it must be this, it must be that, it must be what the chair said, it must be what the FOMC, it must be their outlook. Well, actually, we knew 2 or 3 weeks ago that this would be a taking profit. Period. That's what explains it, nothing else. So, I'm glad you're with me. I'm glad you're smart money and good-looking money too. All right. So, can you confirm the asset that you're looking at? I want to make sure you see charts. What chart are you looking at? By the way, I apologize for being casual today. I will be diving into the waves moments after this webinar. Anybody? Please let me know. I know there's a delay today. I saw that. WTI. Awesome. That's all I need. So I know there's going to be a delay, so I'm not going to ask too many questions. I'm just going to go. Not only am I drinking Death Wish coffee again today, but my wife got rid of the Jabalia. She's drinking my Death Wish. Anyways, all right, cool. So let's get going here. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so this may be the beginning of a really short-term trend here because lower highs don't live in an uptrend. So we have the up, and then the timing of everything here is what's big. So here's the Thursday, and then here's the down. Okay, so we are outside what we would expect. Okay, so this doesn't make it bearish, but if you're already there, then you're going to say, oh my God, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, and I don't think anything fundamental. Well, I know nothing has fundamentally changed, but technical market conditions have changed. This is an opportunity for bears. Okay. quite see who said it, but somebody. I guess it's Mark. But I don't miss a webinar even on vacation. I always take you guys with me, whether I'm in a skyscraper in Hong Kong or here on a beach, um, in a different time zone. Yes. First of all, I do. It does take extra effort, obviously. Obviously, I had to wake up earlier than I would have normally, and all that kind of stuff. And I brought the right equipment. I had to like scope out places, so it does take effort to be here for you. But here's the real lesson that I'm trying to give you is that you have the greatest business I've ever seen, the Forex. I mean, I was a venture capitalist. My job was to look at business opportunities. When I saw this one, I quit, became a full-time Forex trader. Okay, and it's not too much effort to bring a laptop and a couple of screens and sit by the beach and do my job, look at the markets, look at my trades, look at positions, think about where we're going, where we've been, what it all means, what is the new news. I mean, it's not that much of an effort, right? So it's sort of reinforcing what you already know. This is not business opportunity that is worthy of you fighting for. This is kind of awesome. So to me, it's not vacation. I'm spending time with my family. I guess there's a difference. So, anyways, there's the technical setup for next week. Okay. So follow these candles, maybe some up, some down. What we do know is it's going to want to kind of stay in a range. But if you're a bear, you've been waiting for this for a long time. So you're not anticipating the range, you're anticipating eventually a break. So, like, I wouldn't scalp this down, I would trade this down. There's a difference, right? All right. All right. All right. So, anyways, there's your WTI. Let's take a look at this. This is, I think, gold from yesterday that we did. So you can see I show this up, a down, and a continuation. So we've had a big up, a slow down, right? And right now it may be approaching the lower bound of this of one standard, or I guess two standard deviations below the mean, aka a buy zone and an up channel if you happen to be a bull. And that's what we priced out yesterday or whenever I did this. Just have to adjust because time went by. But okay, so we know that this is still a buy zone for a bull. Okay, they bought down here, they bought down here, and this is 95% oversold from the point of view of a bull. 95% oversold by the point of view of a bull. So a bull is going to want a deal. And they're like, you know what? This deal is good enough. It ain't going to get any better than this. Okay? So, why does this matter? Two things. One, lower than that is not good for bulls. They're going to be frightened. And then lower highs will be good for bears. Because now we're talking about a break of a regression channel. Gee whiz, the wind is blowing the wrong way today. So, anyways, up, 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 down, down, buy. And if it's up, 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 down, 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 then that changes things. Okay, so right now a bull's looking at this as a pretty good opportunity, but they got one eye on the prize. So we do have profit taking, we do have yields moving, we do have the stock market down today by 2%. The Swissy is probably strong, the yen is probably strong, and the US dollar is still weak. And that is awesome. So as long as US dollar is weak, maybe there's still hope for the gold going up. But you have to understand, like, let's talk technically too. If you are playing weak dollar, if you're playing an increase in consumption, it comes down really to a timing, right? So you have your fundamentals set, and then with an increase in consumption, you're looking at U.S. dollar weakness. You're looking at an increase in demand for gold. That's cool. But we're really caught here in the sense that I said this can go up. It is oversold, all that kind of stuff. But the frightening part of this, and you'll see this on many of the currencies this morning, is that. So you do want to see a bounce up here, but we've already kind of, like you don't really see kind of moves that clearly lower high in the previous part of this channel. So if you were going to trade this long, you'd have to be on a pretty small time frame, and you would have to be basically scalping up. But it's dangerous because the upward opportunity hasn't developed yet. So a new trader would just throw down a trade because they want it to go up. That's not the right way of doing this. So now, if you are a bull, you have to see the opportunity. So let me put it back. You have to see the opportunity, but that only gives you a potential price. If you look at what's happening here, it's straight down. Okay, and by the way, coming down hard based on our analysis, what, 2 weeks ago, that it would be, it'd be coming down here now. Really? You guys can't hear me? I got the mic in my mouth. Really? I think everything is set full blast. Let me bring up OBS. I'm going to have to move this over to this screen. It's full blast and redlining. So it's not me, dude. Can't be me. I mean, you'd think it's me because I'm on the beach. But that is redlining. It's so loud. You're kidding. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Meta fixed it. Thank you, Meta. All right. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. All right, so here we are just farting around. That's all. So this is Bitcoin. This is just kind of the idea that it's had so much time to drop below. This right now isn't pointing down per se. This is saying it should have gone down by now. Anyways, between the Wednesdays, now we got this. The Fed meeting is out. We're now in traditional summertime trading. Everything that needed to happen, like non-farm payrolls, June FOMC, it's now happened. In the short run, like we've been talking about for these last few weeks, that there's an opportunity for profit taking and going away. The only one left in the market are those that haven't hit their targets before the end of the quarter, and they're desperate to hit those targets, so they're going to sit and trade. Are they in a risk-on mood, or are they a risk-off mood? Well, I want you to think about it. What kind of person missed all of this? And that's going to be a risk-off person. All right? I mean, dude, how many times did we as a group talk about MGM Grand and Delta Airlines and Carnival Cruises? Like, dude, if you didn't pick it up at 8 or 10 or 12 or 14 or 18 or 20 or 22, or like, dude, when did you get in the game? Well, you're clearly risk averse if you missed the whole thing, right? So these guys are the laggers, and they're not going to buy. They're going to, right? So, anyways, I think that at least over the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a slight propensity for this to come down. Not, in my humble opinion, not because things are bearish, but because the buyers bought hard and fast. Right? The market versus the economy. Here, let me put a hat on. Hang on. So, anyways, long story short, everything that needed to be bought was bought, and now everything's overpriced. All right. So, right. So, I think there's a difference between the economy and the market is overbought. The economy is just stabilizing. So, let this come down for a while, and then we'll buy it low, and then we'll sell it high, and that's what happens in the summer. Volume and volatility goes away, but you just change your trading style a little bit, and you can definitely, absolutely make money in the summer if you're smart and hardworking. Yeah, trading in the sunlight is funny. So I highly recommend you get an OLED screen if you're going to be outside. So I have a traditional, my second monitor, this monitor is your standard external LED, and it's hard to read. I can barely read it, but I have the full chat on this vertical screen. And then on my OLED screen, I have the charts, obviously, and that's what you see. And it's much easier to see, I'm telling you, much easier. You might also want to get a Tough Book. Who makes those? Tough Book. Who bought them? Was it Dell? Anyways, you can get a Tough Book, and you can get a cellular card in it, so you can literally sit right there. That's the sand dune right there. You can actually be farther out and be on a cellular connection instead of Wi-Fi, and you have the screen that's an outdoor screen, so the sun doesn't reflect and all that kind of stuff. That might be interesting as well. So let me ask you. So some of you Panasonic. That's it. Is it better when my mic is farther away than close? Is that what you guys are saying? Is it better down here? Maybe even just this. I might have it too close. So I'll watch the chat. I'm worried about it being windy. It's a beach. All right. Okay. This is our Aussie. Nice mobile setup. Actually, I put some money into a startup that out of MIT that makes external monitors, and I'm still waiting for them. I think I'm going to get them by the time I get back. I think they're shipping the prototypes, and I'm like, oh man, I want to be using them by now. All right, so this is better. Cool. Yeah, cool. Right on. Thanks, Brad. All right. Let's take a look at this on the longer run. So I'm an upper on this one, but you can see this is the perfect place for some exhaustion. Perfect place. It's funny how professional investors in the media and stuff, they always talk about how they're confounded. It's what Jay Powell didn't say that made the market go down. Then you open your chart, and you're like, well, dude, the market was at resistance, so of course it went down. It had nothing to do with Jay Powell. The only thing that Jay Powell did was, because the FOMC meeting is important, everyone made their trades 2 weeks earlier than they normally would, and now they're going to, I don't know, go to some beautiful Caribbean island with, azure waters. Awesome, by the way. Dive right in that water. Oh, it's so nice. But yeah, that's what summer's all about. It's right. It's amazing how the media, and even the people the media are interviewing, either they don't know or they're not telling, right? But the thing is, when you look at a chart like this, you're like, yeah, of course there's profit taking, bro. Look at it. Hello, right? Oh my gosh. And sometimes I wonder to myself, do they believe that? Do they really believe? They're going to say, oh my God, this is the weekly jobless claims. Now, weekly jobless claims are going to be super important today. I guess I should talk about that. NFP is a bunch of gobbledygook. I've explained this 100 million times. There's two different reports that use two different statistical analysis to create what we call non-farm payrolls. this household survey and the establishment survey. And the household survey is the worst of the two because they just knock on doors and like, hey man, how many people live here? Oh, there's 8 of us. Do you all have jobs? 6 of us have jobs, but we have 3 jobs, 3 crappy jobs, but it's what we need to do to make money. And the guy taking the survey says, I really don't care how many jobs you have. It's irrelevant to me. Do you have a job or do you not have a job? Like 6 of us have jobs. All right, 6 jobs. Thank you for your time. You're like, well, it is relevant information to know if you have 3 crappy jobs per person, right? Versus 1 good professional job. So they ignore all of that. And then they knock on, I don't know, it's like 25,000. I can't remember what it is, but it's not many, right? So they talk to 25,000 people. They gather only the stats they want, not the stats they're given. And then from that they say, okay, we can figure out what 350 million people are doing. No, you can't. Not accurately. Okay. So anyway, so when you go to weekly jobless claims, it's how many people this week filed for unemployment insurance. You understand? Like, it's a fact. It's not fuzzy logic. That's the one sort of good thing about ADP as well. That's not fuzzy logic. It's not statistical analysis. They're not looking at, likelihood of errors or margin of error, right? They're not looking at that kind of stuff. They're like, this is the number. Right, we have more people on our payrolls this month than last month. Why? Small and medium-sized businesses hired people. It's factual. Now, it doesn't represent the entire world, but it represents that one company that is a big, big, big player in that one part of the segment. Small and medium-sized businesses that have payroll needs and have benefit administration needs, but can't afford to have their own HR department. Okay, thank you, ADP. So that's good. At least now you know who's hiring and who's not hiring. Okay, so you can look at ADP. Was ADP a positive number or a negative number? And if our payrolls was a huge positive number, then who was hiring? Well, Microsoft was hiring, but not Bob's aluminum siding. So anyways, right? So anyways, it's just stats. In this case, we have weekly jobless claims, and people are like, oh my god. Non-farm payrolls is crazy, right? Somebody was saying, one of our Forex friends on FX Street, who was it? Maybe it was Boris, was saying something like that the numbers were wrong or something like that. So let's just say people are wondering what went on with non-farm payrolls. And, some people will say, I'm not saying Boris said this, but, someone could say, oh, it's all manipulated by the Trump administration. Well, if you're looking at it through your lens, you could say that. Boris was saying something like the numbers were wrong. I was just quickly reading through it because I have to do an interview with FX Street. If you guys remember Joseph Trezevani, great guy. Honestly, a great guy. So we're going to do an interview, and he interviewed Boris, and I just quickly looked at what they were kind of the structure of the interview, and Boris was saying something like he didn't like the NFP numbers. That I think we could all agree that 2.5 is coming out a lot hotter than everyone expected. He still thinks, I think he was saying, he still expected negative 8 million. I'm like, no way. So I went through my analysis. I'm like, there's no way in hell it's negative 8 million or negative 7 million or negative 6 million or negative 5, right? But I didn't think plus 2 point, I was happy with negative 2.5 million. So we know that the number is probably wrong. And we need to figure out where that number is, and not. But how can you be so wrong? How can you go from negative 8 million to positive 2 million? You're using weird math, weird science, right? You see what I mean? So, weekly jobless claims are coming out today, and they're right. It's not weird science. It's a statistic. So what I've always been saying, and now more important than ever, because you can see the Bureau of Labor statistic can't pump out a non-farm payroll number. Then they can't even they can't even gather the data fast enough because the numbers are so huge, millions and millions. You usually don't get 5 or 10 million people applying for, unemployment all at the same time. So, anyways, so they're just overwhelmed. Their number is lame. But weekly jobless claims is good. So look at the trend, and if you did some math on your own, I don't know the math level, but you could figure out sort of the relative change, like. Are we adding or reducing the number of people on filing for unemployment, and what is the rate of change? The ROC. What's the rate of change? Is it accelerating or decelerating? And how much deceleration? And what does that? How does that translate to the trade, the market, right? That kind of stuff. So, anyways, you can focus a lot more on weekly than NFP. NFP is kind of gobbledygook. So anyway, so I look at this, and of course this is coming down. Of course there's some profit taking. This is an opportunity for bears to get in the game, do their job. Just think about it. Like, there's a huge symbiotic relationship, right? Like, in what, the animal kingdom, you have the gazelles and you have the lions, but somehow they need each other, right? In the spiritual world, you have angels and demons, and somehow there's a necessary balance in the universe because of that, right? And here's the sort of the bulls and the bears. This is necessary for the bears to come in and do their job and clean this up, and bulls will have their time and drive this up high in the sky. Just not right now. And the cool thing is, and I want to remind you this, we talked about this happening now 2 weeks ago. That's the important part. Who cares about what it's doing now? Like, I always say, like, who cares about today? Right? We said drive this up between the Wednesdays. Drive it all the way up, and then we'll hit the Wednesday before NFP. NFP, not FOMC. The Wednesday before non-farm payrolls, we're hitting our targets. But that's what we talked about. We were going to hit those targets hot and fast and early. And somewhere between the Wednesdays is going to be a great opportunity. Go back and look between the Wednesdays, so after non-farm payrolls but before FOMC, things did start to come down. Everything that went up was coming down at key targets, at the right prices, at the time we expected. And now that we got through FOMC, stock market's going to open up down 2% today. Why? Because Jay Powell was so bearish on the economy? No, dude, because this is when you're supposed to take profit and fly to the Caribbean in your private jet. That's it. There's my private jet. So that's that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just how do you do it? It's our world. This is what we do. And if there's profit taking for bulls, bears are going to make money. Even if it's still a bullish market, and that's an opinion. Right now, this can come down, 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 and then consolidate, consolidate, consolidate. This can drop for 2 days. This can drop for 2 weeks. Do we know? No. Do you know if you're a bull or a bear? Yeah. Do you know if you're going to be a bull or a bear in August? Yes. So it comes down to, like, where is your price if you're a buyer here? Right now, bears are selling this, and what are they going to do? Let me break it to you gently. Bears are going to sell lower highs and create lower lows. Then they're going to sell a lower high and create lower lows. Then they're going to sell a lower high and create lower lows. And they will do that as many times as a bull will allow them to do it. They'll do it 10 times, they'll do it 100 times, they'll do it 1,000 times until it stops working for them. Then they're like, damn, I'm not making money anymore. So they stop it. Okay? So they will do this, rinse and repeat, as long as they're allowed to. And that's cool because if I'm a investor, because I look at this as like a market that I'm investing in. I don't even know what oh yeah, this is Aussie yen. But it doesn't matter to me. I'm looking at this. I have price over time. And I'm an investor in this asset class. Do you understand? Like, I look at it, do I want to buy this at this price? Okay? St. Martin, Mohai Beach. Are you on the Dutch side or the French side? Or as they say in America, St. Martin. I'm like, Martin? What's Martin? St. Martin. How do you spell that? Oh, Brad's saying rate of change is delta. Cool. All right. So yeah, I wonder if you guys look at the market that way yet. Like, again, it's sort of like the boss attitude, right? You're like, you're an investor, you have money. You can do whatever you want with your money, and everybody wants your money. And they're nice to you. Why? Because you got money. Hey, bro, you're so awesome. Will you give me some of your money? Everybody, right? And you're like, well, you know what? I'm a boss, so I got to choose. And then I'm like, so where am I going to invest my money this week, if at all? I might invest this week, I might not. So do I like WTI at this price? No, I don't know. I might wait a week. I might get a little lower, versus kind of chasing the market, trying to get in another 20 pips. Right? There's more to life than 18 pips, right? So you're like, you get to kind of pick and choose when you participate, how you participate, why you participate, at what price you'll participate. Okay? And here's the thing. Boss never takes a first price, right? Oh, well, we'll give you 5 million. You're like, 5 million's out of the question. If you can't come up over 6, I'm done. Oh, okay, 6. Like, you never take the first offer. No, even if you only wanted 4, you don't take the first number. So, in a trade, do you take the first number? You're like, oh, this is a support, I'm going to buy it. Like, why don't you take the next best? Take the next one. St. Lucia, yeah, right on. Yeah, definitely a beach day. You're anchored in the French Lagoon, right on. What was it? There was a big ship there a couple of years ago, the Enterprise or something. And it was amazing because the side of the boat opened up, the boat, right? The side of the ship opened up, like a gate came out of the side, and they drove out like I'd say at least a 65-foot tri-level cruiser, but probably bigger than that. But it looked tiny. This tiny little ship came out, and I'm like, damn, that's a tri-level cruiser, and it came out of the side of the ship. I mean, a boat that could hold, I don't know, 20 people came out of the side of the ship, and we're talking about $100 million boat sitting out there, St. Martin, right? I'm like, holy smokes, that's like, that ship is bigger than my hotel. I love Mojave Beach though. Like, I don't know, I don't like the water. It's too deep or something, and the waves are scary, but I can sit there and watch planes all day. I love airplanes. Just sit there all day. You're like, I hope it's KLM. I hope it's KLM. And your big old KLM plane comes in. Yeah. Anyway, so kitty cat, I'll look at this. Okay, I'm a seller of this. Do I want to sell here? No, I'm not interested right now. I'd like to either hire or different market conditions. Right? I'm a boss. This isn't what I wanted. By the way, check this out. Do you remember this? Again, a couple of weeks ago we were here, and I marked this X. This is where you get out. And what happened over the week? Like, take the lesson and then the lesson learned. Okay? There's a time and a place when we're up here, and I'm like, down. Then we're going to hit this early. Early. Like, we're talking about it way up here. It's going to be unusually bearish, which is global macro bull. Okay? It's going to move hot, it's going to move fast, and it's going to move early. And there's nothing on this chart that says that. Then we're going to hit the target, and you should just bail on it when you get to the profit zone, and you're going to hit it before the Wednesday, and then between the Wednesdays there's going to be something, maybe some sort of profit taking. And imagine, Like you walked away. It's now 8 calendar days ago. You could have gone on vacation. And look what you missed. Nothing. But you might have missed the opportunity to lose money. You might have missed the opportunity to give your profits back. Because if you didn't have the discipline to get out, who's to say you have the discipline to trade it properly when you're in? And it seems to me you're either 100% disciplined, right? Or you're 100% not disciplined. It's like one of those things. Okay? I don't know. So, anyways. Yeah, Gary. Appreciate that, Gary. Because you have to understand I'm in a different time zone too. So I also have to, let's say get up 2 hours before the webinar, but I'm in a different time zone, so that's even earlier than normal, right? So it's like on vacation and you got to wake up super early, tiptoeing through the house, not making sure you're not disturbing anyone, all that kind of stuff, and coming out here. But the thing is, it's not a sacrifice. It's love, it's passion. The markets are important to me. You're important to me. This is all good, man. This is all good. This is what I love. This. Okay. Oops. So we already did this one. And today I got 2 umbrellas rented with 4 chairs, and they set it all up for you and bring it and take care of you. We're gonna have an awesome family time. Yesterday we went go-kart racing. Let's just say some go-karts are pulling 85 pounds and some go-karts are pulling 185 pounds. So I had to push some of these kids around. They're like, you ain't passing. There's no way you're passing me, bro. There's no way I'm letting you pass me, brother. So, all right. So Bitcoin we did, gold and oil, good, and euro dollar. I guess we have to do that. Okay, and check it out. Here's our exit point. Days and 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 days go by. We haven't made a higher high. That means you could have had a week for free, a week of your time for free, an entire week of your time you could have used doing something else. COT data? Yeah, but let's do that at the end of the quarter. So let's do that. I don't know. The thing is, it's not that relevant right now, but we can take a look at it. So I'd say at the end of June. So maybe on 2 weeks from now. Let's do COT 2 weeks from now.